Hello, everybody. I just want to say, first of all, thank you to the people that reached out. And, I had a couple emails and a couple comments about, thinking that I was down on my last video. And I just want to let everybody know that is completely, if I gave that impression, I am feeling amazing. This year is already, so much is happening in my life, and I am awake. I am powerful. And, this channel, everything that I'm doing is to empower you. And, all the subscribers that are consistently following me. I just want to let you know, this stuff is not rehearsed. This is my sort of thoughts and my opinions on certain things, mostly to do with health and wellness, on my experience and what I've found, and my incredible, turnaround from being fat, sick, and to showing that, getting old doesn't have to be a punishment. I'm feeling better than ever in my life. I am so happy to be alive every day, and every breath is bringing in miracles, and that's quite simply. And this talk today, I actually had a conversation with my uncle, who was one of my first people that I was helping with some nutrition stuff and his diet, and we saw some great results. Anyway, we had a talk the other day, and it was just basically about how the world works and logic. And he was, it was it was nice to hear, because he was, I know he was impressed and proud of the way I think. And, there is so much crap going on in the world. We're going to have to be prepared for it. And, there's a lot of cliches and those quotes at the beginning of the video. What can we learn from this? Now, it's already, the playbook is wide open, and it's obvious. Like always, this is Anthony Stewart. This is Food for Thought, and we're going to think today. I'm questioning everything they've ever said, and right now, this is what they're saying. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist. I'm a normal guy that's done some crazy things to reverse my health and wellness. And, what I can share and offer is just an opinion and maybe some inspiration that things are possible. You are powerful. And, today I just want to address something that's going on, and it's the same playbook already. They are saying this, and anything I say, you question. Go do your own research. I encourage you to do your own due diligence. Anybody who's afraid of discernment and another opinion, that should be a flag. That's the way the world's working right now. Is they want us programmed, they want us weak, and the thing that they fear most is empowerment and individuality. So you know what? You got to take it in your own hands. No one's coming to save you. But you can save yourself. And, here's some thoughts on what's going on right now. We know there's a certain conference that's going on that are the powers that be. And a couple things I want to talk about today is, when I started this whole thing, I was horrified and really, really blown away, because what woke me up was the nutrition space. And once you dig into these rabbit holes, how things aren't what they seem, and quite often hidden in plain sight. I was like, how were we so wrong about nutrition? And then I lived it. So it wasn't like I had these questions and just I'm continuing this uncertainty. I have done certain things, interventions in my life, that have completely backed up the questions. So today, it's going to tie into probably some nutrition, but right now there's that conference, which I'm not even going to mention, because I don't even know how these algorithms work. But they are the elites, the cabal, the cult, whatever you want to call them, the powers that be, are discussing your future. And they are pretty much on the what is good for everybody else, but we won't do any of it page. Now, you can be a denier, you can be a theorist, but this is out there. They are talking about this stuff, and they are asking you to sacrifice your life for the greater good of the planet while being complete hypocrites and doing everything for their own benefit. Now, one of the first things is they are talking about this next disease X, if you will. And we have to talk about these things. I'm going to have to be a little bit sugar-coated here, because what can we learn from the last one? Well, if you were immune compromised, if you were unhealthy, and you were metabolically not well, it was probably a very scary time. I was scared shitless. That's why I started learning. I learned about my immune system. I learned about virology. I learned about what I can do to be safer. And it wasn't rocket science. Once you start dismantling the narrative, it was quite obvious. And you can go and listen to all the science. You can trust the science, but I can assure you, the people that wanted to help people were getting excommunicated and canceled. And all they were trying to do was ask questions and find something, doctors that cared. They wanted to treat patients, but they were unable to do so. And we know what happens now. Like, they can't hide it. Those protocols that they instilled in us were catastrophic as far as the residual effects, our economy, our health, all of it was, and they're trying to double down now. They're already talking about the next one. Why? There's already reports on the news in the BBC, and you can go into like a very valuable source is Dr. John Campbell. I'll post his channel below. You can tell the guy's coming from a genuine place, and he scrutinizes this information so brilliantly, and he changes his mind based on sorting through all the stuff and then seeing what is kind of makes sense. So a very good source. Also, a guy that I looked into, and thank you, Ivor Cummins. Like, he basically put my life at ease during this time, because he injected so much logic and verified it and was right about every single aspect of what he was saying wasn't true. You can go back in time now. We have a history. So let's look to what we can do about the next one. Now, this is going to sound really crazy, but what we can control is us. We know their playbook. We know they're going to try and scare the living shit out of you. We know they're going to try and capitalize on that fear. We know there was the biggest transfer of wealth in the history of humankind during that time where they're supposed to be helping humanity. Isn't that weird? All these trusted people that were spokespeople for for the whole pandemic, they benefited. Right there. Just look at that logic right there. Do you know whose side are they on? Well, you know what? That's a debate. You can argue it, but it's pretty much, all these companies made billions off our suffering in the name of the greater good. So now, when they're talking about this stuff, how am I going to get prepared for it? I'm going to get as healthy as I possibly can. Understand how viruses work in my body. Understand my immune system. Understand that if you can boost your immune system, you can be immunocompromised. So how does your immune system work? We're not going to get into it today, but when I learned about this stuff, I did a couple workshops, I did a couple seminars, I read a lot of books. A great book, if you really want to know what's going on, this is fantastic. Half this book is references by Dr. James DiNicolantonio and Sim Land. There's always people that are going to be opposing sides. But this is a great way to understand what cytokine storm is, how your body reacts to things, and the innate and adaptive immune system. That was something that I was benefited from, because it put my mind at ease on taking a little bit of control in this fear state. Now, when we learn about who was greatly affected by the last pandemic, we know immune compromised, the aged, And like if you had, type 2 diabetes, had any kind of autoimmunity, you were more at risk to being severely affected by it. So now they're talking about the next one's gonna and we're not even I can't even mention the research they're doing because I don't want to get, this is a slippery slope. This is the time. You want to talk about free speech? I can't even say what's really on my mind, but it's hypocrisy at its finest. So they're already planning for the response to the next virus with treatment, if you know what I mean. So how do they know what the treatment is when they don't even know what? Because you know what? In my heart of hearts, they already know. They know this is happening. This has been planned, and I'm just firing my warning shot. Now is the time to get righteous. Now is the time to say, no, I'm in power. You get as healthy as you can. You build your immune system up so much that, you know what? At the worst end of the spectrum, you won't be as hard hit. It's very simple. Metabolic health matters. Now more than ever. You can reverse diabetes. It's possible. People are doing it. Whether they say it's right or wrong, they're doing it. So cutting sugar. And here's where it comes into nutrition. You all know that I'm pretty much a carnivore advocate. And right now, as of January, I have not had a lick of carbohydrates aside from maybe some carbs and cheese and some dairy. But other than that, I've been focusing completely on meat. I feel amazing. Things are great. But that's just a tool to get my body running optimally. Sleep matters. If you go without sleep and you get immunocompromised, putting yourself in a stressful situation with no sleep and your body's not well, you're out of shape, all these things will increase your confidence in handling an illness. So now is the time to not sit back and hope for a miracle. Take the power back. Get healthy. Get strong. And there's ways to do it. I'm not talking about carnivore or vegan. This has nothing to do with that. This is about being aware of the ability to take control of your health. And now, more than ever, it'd be a good idea to know about your immune system. It'd be a good idea to know what happens when your blood sugar is constantly elevated and your insulin levels are high. Whatever you got to do to get better, now is the time. Because they are going to throw fear at us. They are going to throw division. And I can tell you this time, I was isolated and alone for a lot of the last pandemic. I felt like I couldn't relate to anybody. And now the more I find people that are on our level, we're not alone. There is help. There is guidance. If you're stuck, give me an email. I'm starting a carnivore community here in White Rock, in BC, with a few people that we're talking every Monday. We're starting to become aware of, the damages of processed food. We're getting together and we're starting. This is what it's all about. The people in my life now, there is people that are like us, like you. There are people that need our help. And, a really, really cool, wise person told me, we can't help everybody. And your energy has to be put to what you can control. Well, I have a YouTube channel, and it is my duty and my mission to help. And, if I can shed some light on something and be inspiring, that's what it's all about. I'm in the best physical shape of my life. I'm understanding and aware of the possible dangers. And I'm not naive to think it's not possible that they are against us. So one person at a time, one little tweak in your health could be a game changer. Keep an open mind. Ask a lot of questions. Get as healthy as you possibly can. And we're talking everything. Whatever you can do to be healthier is going to help your immune and your nervous system and everything coincide with what's to come. So don't be scared. Get empowered. That's it today, guys. I hope this helps. If this can help anybody be inspired or empowered, Don't be afraid to share these videos. I'm not asking for anything. I just want to put my word out there, give my 2 cents in, and don't listen to what they say. Follow your heart. Stay strong.